Yeah.
Okay, thanks. কি জানি কি বলে তোমারা ধামিতে হইনু শরণাগত তুমি দয়াময়ে পতিত পাবন পতিত তারণে রাতা ভরসা মারা এই মাত্র নাথ তুমি তো করুণাময়ী তব দয়া পাত্র নাহি মোর সম অবশ্য গো যাবে ভই আমারে তারিতে কাহার শক্তি অগনি ভিতরে নাহি দয়াল ঠাকুর ঘোষণ তোমার অধমা পামরে ত্রাহি সকল ছাড়িয়া আসিয়াছি আমি তোমারা চরণে নাথা আমি নিত্য দাস তুমি পালাইতা তুমি গোপ্তা জগন্নাথা তোমারা সকল আমি মাত্র দাস আমার তারিবে তুমি তোমারা চরণ করিনু বারণ আমার নাহি তো আমি ভক্তি বিনোদ কাঁদিয়া শরণ লয়েছে তোমার পায়ে স্বামী অপরাধ নামে রুচি দিয়া পালন করো হে তায়ে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে. Translation. How has one such as I come to your shelter? Surely it is by your mercy alone, for you are ever seeking the purification and deliverance of the fallen souls. You are my only hope, for you are full of compassion and mercy. There is no one who needs your mercy more than I. You will surely drive away all fear. No one else has the power to deliver me. O merciful Lord, by your declaration, kindly deliver this vile and lowly sinner. I have given up everything and come to your lotus feet. I am your eternal servant, and you are my protector and maintainer, O Lord of the universe. Everything is yours. I am merely a servant, certain that you will deliver me. I have chosen your lotus feet as my only shelter. I no longer belong to myself. Weeping, Bhaktivinoda takes shelter at your feet. Forgive his offenses, afford him a taste for the holy name, and kindly maintain him. So this is part of the Sharanagati by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and under the section of Gopatritve Varnam. Tatha. So this is one limb of Sharanagati, which means we should have full faith that Krishna will maintain. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that I'm in Krishna consciousness by your mercy. I'm able to chant your names only by your mercy. And you are my only hope. And I am the most lowly sinner, and I need your mercy the most. And you can protect and maintain me. I am your servant. And please forgive my offenses and give me some taste for the holy name. Maintain me. And everything is yours. You own everything. Nothing is mine. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anything else that you would like to say? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that, yes, how,
Capital, you're on mute if you're saying something.
okay, yeah, yeah, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that, how am I come to your shelter? It is only by your mercy, because I am so fallen. You are so merciful, and you want my purification, so you brought me to your shelter. Okay, please forgive my offenses and give me a taste for holy name. Okay. Anything else anyone would like to say? All right, so we'll read Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Brahma's prayers for creative energy. स्वसावभद्र करुणो भगवान् विवृद्ध प्रेम स्मितेन नयन अम्बुरुहं विजृम्भन् उत्थाय विश्वविजयया चनो विषादं माध्व्या किरापनयत् यतत् yatat purusha purana. The Lord, who is the supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and kindly remove our dejection by sweetly speaking his directions. So he says, maybe if the Lord glances at me, a slight trace of the glance of the mercy of the Lord, like that comes in many songs, right? When will cast his sidelong loving glance upon me.
Radhikashtakam. My Lord Shiva.
Munindra Vrindavandite Triloka Shokaharini Prasanna Vakra Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Shunu Sangate Kada Karisyashi Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. So like that. Even Prasada Lesha Nugrihita Evati, a slight trace of mercy of the lotus feet of the Lord, then one can understand Krishna. So little glance of the Lord. So he says, when will he open his eyes and he look at me? Bestow his benediction upon me. So even little service we do, and like if you offer food to Krishna and Krishna accepts it, our life is successful. So the Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all. So Adyam Purana, he is the oldest because he is the original person. We know he is the origin of everything. So nothing was there before him. So, but he's not like, because he's the first person, he is aged. He's Navayovanam. So, and by glancing his mercy upon us, glancing upon us and sweetly speaking, he will, Bhagavad Gita, like you can get solace from Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna, when he was in distress because of Krishna's separation, Krishna's passing, going away, then he took shelter. He took solace in the instructions that he had received. The form of Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned like that. So the Lord is ever increasingly merciful upon the fallen souls of this material world. The whole cosmic manifestation is a chance for all to improve themselves in devotional service to the Lord, and everyone is meant for that purpose. So we have to improve in devotional service, and that's the chance given to us. We may have done so many things, but it's a chance to become better. The Lord expands himself into many personalities who are either self-expansions or separated expansions. Swansha and Vibhinansha. The personalities of individual souls are his separated expansions, whereas the self-expansions are the Lord himself. So he can replicate himself and those are called Swansha. They are all Vishnu Tattva. And there is another expansion of the Lord. We are also expansions, Eko Bahushyam, but we are not Vishnu Tattva, we are Jiva Tattva. The self expansions are predominators, and the separated expansions are predominated for reciprocation of transcendental bliss with the supreme form of bliss and knowledge. So Vishnu Tattvas are superior to the Jiva Tattvas. We are subordinate, we are predominated. Krishna is the predominator and the Vishnu Tattvas. So we are meant to reciprocate with the predominator in love. And everybody is created to have a loving relationship with Krishna. Of course, we were never created, soul is always there. But I mean, just assuming that, we exist, the reason we exist is to have a loving relationship with Lord. Everybody. The liberated souls can join in this blissful reciprocation of the predominator and the predominated without materially concocted ideas. The typical example of such a transcendental exchange between the predominator and the predominated is the Lord's Ras Leela with the gopis. The gopis are predominated expansions of the internal potency, and therefore the Lord's participation in the Ras Leela dance is never to be considered like the mundane relationship of a man and woman. Because in this world, we don't own. Krishna owns everything. Everything is coming from Krishna. So Krishna's Ras Leela is not like anything here in this material world. Because Krishna is the owner. He is all the gopis are, they are expansions of Srimati Radharani, who is the Ladini potency of Krishna. So it is Krishna enjoying with his own energy. When we enjoy, we are not enjoying with our own. We have no energy. It's all everything. All energies belong to Krishna. So, so there is nothing out of like out of some. There is no sinful thing there because Krishna owns everything, and everything belongs to Krishna. So he's enjoying with himself, you could say. Ladini potency is internal. Internal means his own internal potency. It's not outside of himself. So it's never to be considered like the mundane relationship of man. But when one jiva tries to enjoy another jiva, then then it becomes problematic. But when the jiva offers himself to be enjoyed by the owner of the jiva, then the jiva also feels. This is the Krishna consciousness philosophy. That when we try to be independent enjoyers, we suffer. But when we try to participate in the Lord's enjoyment, we enjoy. So this is the paradigm shift. It's difficult to understand. Because in conditioned state, we think, unless I enjoy myself, how will I enjoy? How will I get happiness? A spiritual life, spiritual consciousness means when I participate in the Lord's enjoyment, give pleasure to the Lord, then I enjoy also. So that is what Prabhupada, through his purports and his books, is trying to convince us. Like here he says that the separated expansions are predominated for reciprocation of transcendental bliss with the supreme form of bliss and knowledge. The Lord gives the fallen souls the chance for this highest perfection of life. So, again, to re-establish our relationship with Krishna, Lord Brahma is entrusted with the management of the complete cosmic show. And therefore, he prays that the Lord bestow his blessings upon him so that he may execute its purpose. So he has a task ahead of us, him, to create the material existence. So he's seeking his blessings. Previously, he said that I don't want to become proud of anything. I pray that I may not be materially affected by my work, for thus I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. So all empowerment comes from Krishna. So that's okay. So that's what Brahma is prayed. Now Maitreya Muni is speaking to Vidura. Maitreya Uvacha. Any comments if you have here? Any reflection, anything? Okay. Maitreya Uvacha Swasambhavam Nishamyaivam Tapo Vidya Samadhibi Yavan Mano Vachastutva Viraraman Sakhinnavat. The sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, after observing the source of his appearance, namely the personality of Godhead, Brahma prayed for his mercy, as far as his mind and words would permit him. Thus, having prayed, he became silent, as if tired from his activities of penance, knowledge, and mental concentration. So he prayed and then he's waiting for the Lord to respond. Okay, so okay. Brahma's enlightenment in knowledge was due to Lord sitting within his heart. After being created, Brahma could not ascertain the source of his appearance. But after penance and mental concentration, he could see the source of his birth. And thus he became enlightened through his heart. The Lord is therefore called the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master sitting in the heart. The spiritual master outside and the spiritual master within are both representations of the Lord. Unless one is such a bona fide representation of the Lord, one cannot claim to be a spiritual master. Lord Brahma had no opportunity to take the help of a spiritual master from outside, because at that time Brahma himself was the only creature in the universe. Therefore, on becoming satisfied by the prayers of Brahma, the Lord enlightened him about everything from within. The Lord is so kind that he is always prepared to help any living being attain spiritual enlightenment if he simply concentrates his mind to find out the source of his existence. So, any comments on this verse? So, which verse says Krishna will give buddhi from within in the Bhagavad Gita?
Patience.
Yes.
Go ahead, Preeti.
There are two verses,
No,
right? Yeah.
no, the one you said that te samyuktam bhajatam priti purvakam dadam buddhi yogam. So it says that like give the intelligence to come. Is this the one or?
That's the one. And then there is another one in the same line, right, where he says in the heart.
Yeshanubanukam Partha.
Yeah, correct. Teshami Vanukampa.
Aham agyanjam tamah nashyami atma bhavastu jnanidipena bhashrata.
So even if there is no external spiritual master, Krishna is the spiritual master in the heart. If one is sincere, then Krishna will give guidance from within. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. If he really wants to know what is the purpose of his existence, why am I here, then Krishna will maybe send some devotees in the life. Some books will come. Prabhupada's books will come. So there are many big book distribution stories like that. So we have to pray to Krishna. Please always guide me. You are in my heart. Please always remind me to chant Hare Krishna like that. Please keep me on the right track, Krishna. Please give me good intelligence. So praying to Krishna. Okay, so Brahma had nobody outside. So Krishna from Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaya Muyanti Yat Suraya in the Bhagavatam it's described. So the Lord saw, yeah, any other comments? Anybody else? Okay. The Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems and was depressed upon seeing the devastating water. He could understand the intention of Brahma, and thus he spoke in deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that had arisen. The devastating water was so fearful that even Brahma, so I think it's the Garbha ocean in which Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is lying, that water he saw was so fearful that even Brahma was perturbed at its appearance and became very anxious about how to situate the different planetary systems in outer space to accommodate the different kinds of living entities, such as the human beings, those lower than the human beings, and the superhuman beings. All the planets in the universe are situated according to different grades of living beings under the influence of the modes of material nature. Like Krishna says, Urdhvam gachanti sattvasta madhyatishti rajasa jaganya guna vrittista adho gachanti tamasa. If you die in the mode of goodness, you go upwards because there in upwards there are those who are in mode of goodness, they go upwards. Like that mode of passion in the middle and then lower planetary systems. So there are in ignorance. There are three modes of material nature, and when they are mixed with one another, they become nine. When the nine are mixed, they become 81, and 81 also becomes mixed. And thus, we ultimately do not know how the delusion increases and increases. So, Lord Brahma had to accommodate different places and situations for the requisite bodies of the conditioned souls. The task was meant only for Brahma, and no one else in the universe can even understand how difficult it was. So he has to put every living entity in a particular body. I mean, something like that. He creates the bodies. The jiva is existing, but the jiva has to be given a certain body in a certain place according to the modes of nature he is influenced by. And there are so many jivas, so maybe it was a big task. But by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to execute the tremendous task so perfectly that everyone is amazed to see the workmanship of the Vidhata or the regulator. So he's the secondary Vidhata, creator. Okay, Krishna creates the universes and then he makes, like, we have a building and there's an interior decorator who like does all the, so Krishna generates all these bubbles in the Karana ocean, Karana Dakshaya Vishnu, and then he enters each ocean, each bubble as Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu fills half of the bubble with the perspiration from his body, which is the Garbha ocean, and then Brahma creates in there whatever he. It's difficult to understand the structure of the universe compared to the modern science that we have. But many devotees have done this study. They can explain it better. We have some videos on Bhagavad cosmology. So anyhow, so Brahma is empowered, and yeah, there are so many entities in different modes of nature. Just as we mix three colors in different proportions and you get varieties of colors, three primary colors you mix and you get so many different colors. So similarly, all the modes of nature are so many variety shades of modes of nature, infinite, you could say, because you can mix those modes in any proportion and you can get, and then
So, Prabhuji, what is this? It says that there are three modes: material nature mixed with one another, they become nine. The nine mixed with become 81. So, is this what is 81? Is this?
yeah, I'm not able to understand. Like we have three colors and we,
I mean, we know there are three modes of nature, but uh, it makes, as you said, there are three primary colors. Then we have secondary colors and many colors. But we say that these are colors. which we mixed it, then we found colors. So does it mean that these are modes of nature, the 81? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
I don't know what is
it's
this.
like the mixture, right? The mixture of the you have 10% mode of goodness and 50% mode of ignorance and then 40% mode of passion. Then you mix it, then you get a certain, just like you mix three primary colors in different proportion, you get a certain color. Then you take different proportion. You take maybe 20% mode of goodness and then 30% mode of passion and then 50% some. Then you get a different combination. So like that, I think I don't know what it means. Like it says 9 and then 81 because three colors or three modes in different proportions. When they're mixed with one another, they become 9. So, and then 9 are mixed, they become 81. So 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 9 is 81, something like that. But basically, there are infinite combinations of the modes of material nature. They can mix in different proportions and they can also keep changing. As Krishna says, the modes are also in always competition. Sometimes mode of passion is prominent, then some mode of ignorance is prominent, like that. So, so we are basically, just strings are attached to us and we are being manipulated by the modes of nature. And then we are at different times of the day, we have different desires. Now you should go and eat something. Now you should do this. Now you go there, enjoy that. Like so many desires are coming. Now you go on vacation. Oh, that's a nice place. You've never been there. Now go on a cruise and enjoy. Now come back. Now eat something. Now sleep. Now get up. So like that, the modes of nature. Of course, we are thinking that everything is happening. I'm the controller. But many times we can realize that we want to do something we can't do, and what we don't want to do we have to do. So we can understand that we are actually not so independent because there are many things we want to do but we can't do, and there are many things we don't want to do but we are forced to do. So that's how the modes of nature are working on us. We are like the puppets in the hand of the puppet. Here there's a nice diagram, this what do you call it, picture of this. So any other comment on this verse? So how do we get out of the modes of nature? By
महं और अव्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्य तं ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते. By executing uninterrupted devotional service.
and Devi Asha Gudamai
Ayadaratte mameva ye prapadente mayamitam tarantite. By surrendering.
by surrendering to Krishna. Means surrendering means accepting his will as his desires and molding our life according to his desires, trying to satisfy him. Krishna also has desires, which he tells in Bhagavad Gita what his desires are. So finally he says, give up all your desires and just surrender to me and do what I am telling you to do. You have concocted so many desires. Prajahati yada kaman sarva partha manogatan atmani tush
Evatmanatist.
tushtaha sita
Sthita.
pragya tadochyate. When a man gives up all desires born of mental concoction and finds satisfaction in the self, then such a person is said to be what? Sthita pragya, the intelligence. So there are so many mental concoction we have. Like now I want to enjoy like this. Now so Krishna says, okay, you want to enjoy like this. Okay, there is a body like that. You enjoy like this. Then we say, no, no, but I want to enjoy like that. So like that, all the desires are there in our mind. Mind is coming up with so many ideas. Krishna creates all these different kinds of, bodies to accommodate all our desires to enjoy this material world. And he gives us a situation to enjoy. So when we give up all these mental desires, the desires, mentally concocted desires, and take pleasure in devotional service only, then we are of good intelligence. Sthita pragya. Right? So, and actually, these things will not give us happiness. That we have to realize either by experience or by hearing or by seeing others. Either we have had some experience in our life about this, that it gave us misery, this sense gratification, or we see others and see their life, and then we realize, okay, if I do like this, then I will also get into a miserable situation. So either or by hearing from Krishna. So, but generally we have to experience, because we are not, we don't believe when Krishna says like, yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkha yona yayavate, that this is the womb of misery, the contact of senses with the sense objects is going to give you misery. But we don't accept like that immediately. So we have to experience, and then we say, yeah, Krishna, you're right. What you're saying is right. So that's there. But we get into some trouble. We get some trouble like that before we realize. But anyhow, if we realize, it's good. And then one day we will realize, yes, this is not working out. I've tried, this way, that way. I've tried this way, that way. It's not working out. Let me surrender to Krishna. That such a great soul is very rare. Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante kyanavan mam prapadyate Vasudev sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. I have tried many lifetimes, like Srila Prabhupada told Bhakti Charu Maharaj. You have tried many lifetimes to enjoy in different ways. Of course, we don't remember how I tried to enjoy in my past life. So it seems like, yeah, this is the first life I'm trying to enjoy. But he told him, yeah, you have tried to enjoy so many lifetimes, but I still see that you are not satisfied. So, like that. And said, okay, so now give one life to Krishna. Like that he was saying. So it never works out. Material life doesn't work out. Because it all is dismantled. At some point, when it will be, we don't also know. When it will be just dismantled, all of a sudden, it happens like that. So, okay, any other comment on this verse? So, Vishnu is now speaking to Brahma because he was very disturbed seeing the devastating water. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ma Veda Garbha Gas Tandrin Sarga Udyamam Avaha Tanmaya Paditam Yagre Yanmam Prarthayate Bhavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. So Brahma was begging for empowerment in his service. And Vishnu is saying, it has already been granted before. So let's see what Prabhupada says. Any person authorized by either the Lord or his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. Of course, the person entrusted with such a responsibility should always be aware of his incapability and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. So the Prabhupada was empowered, but he never he was always praying to Krishna for his mercy. So in this way, you never become proud. So, and knowing that the ability to do anything comes from Krishna, the intelligence comes from Krishna. So we should not feel I am doing it. I have done this. I No, it is coming from Krishna. Krishna is give the credit to Krishna or to the previous acharyas, the Guru Parampara. That's how Prabhupada said it is. I have simply repeated the words of my spiritual master. If I don't have any credit, it's all. My credit is that I have just presented the message as it is, without any adulteration, alteration. So, and that is true also, right? By our karma, we may get some abilities. We may become but karma can change also. So I may be very intelligent today, but tomorrow I may not be. I may be able to do so many things. May get into an accident, then I can't even move my hand. So karma can change, and karma is very tricky also. We never know what's in store for us. So, but Krishna is giving the karma under his direction. Karma is working. So he can change the karma of his devotee. Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajan. In the Brahma Samhita, yeah, he can change if he wants. So we are all dependent on Krishna's mercy. So one should not be puffed up because he's entrusted with um, certain executive work. Yes, Haritra Prabhu has some comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have a question regarding Lord Brahma's position. What gets Brahma to be Brahma? Like, what gets a living entity to be Brahma? Is it, as you were just mentioning, that by amassing a lot of good karma, one can gain a lot of abilities? So, is Lord Brahma in his position because of his abilities, because of the abilities that he's accrued as a result of good karma, or because of his bhakti, which he has cultivated in previous births? It's a little like I've always struggled with that question. I've also heard things like every one of us were Brahma at some point in time. So, what is the take? Like, what is the correct understanding of Brahma's position? How does he become Brahma?
Somewhere I heard, or it was somebody can verify, that you perform your varnashram duties for 1,000 lifetimes perfectly, then you become. Is it Indra or is it Brahma? Uh, that is also there. Another thing is when we fall from the spiritual sky, Prabhupada writes in one purport that we get the position of Brahma first time. So that also in one purport he says that we have been Brahmas, so we get the position of Brahma. Now demigod, Brahma is also demigod, so Brahma is also like he's a he's a devotee of the Lord, but he's not completely pure because the demigods are considered as mixed devotees. They are devotees but with material desires, sakama devotees. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Our Brahma is a pure devotee because he came down as Haridas Thakur. But there are other Brahmas, like in one song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I don't want to be born as a Brahma who is averse to you. That means I don't know how that happens, but maybe they are not pure devotees completely. So, in one song, like I think it is Manasa Deho Geho Jo Kichu More, right? In that song, yeah. So, but Brahma is of course, he's very high position. So, he's a devotee of the Lord, as I understand, and somebody who is qualified gets that position. But I don't know if that is true. That if you have to perform varnashram duties for 1,000 lifetimes, if you do perfectly or something like that, you get the position of Brahma. Something I read that somewhere, but I can't recollect where. So Brahma is because he's empowered, he's getting empowerment. He's a devotee of the Lord. So he has to create. But it's a good question.
Okay, thank you.
As Prabhupada says, demigods are devotees with material desires. One time, Jayapataka Maharaj was saying that if you chant Hare Krishna and your material desires, then you can go to the heavenly planets. Because you want to enjoy, and Hare Krishna chanting will fulfill those desires and you go to the heavenly planets. But when you come down again, then so many years have passed on this earth, and the Sankirtan movement is no longer there also. So he was saying like that. So, so there are Sakama devotees and there are Akama devotees. Sakama devotees are devotees like Indra. He's also a devotee, but he has material desires. He's attached to his position, so he becomes disturbed. But Indra, when is in difficulty, then Krishna comes. Right? Indrari Vyakulam Loke Bradayanti Yuge Yuge. When enemies of Indra disturb, then Krishna comes. Ete chansha kala pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Indrari Vyakulam Loke. When the enemies of Indra, then Krishna comes. So, and Upendra, we know, Vaman Dev is the younger brother of Indra. So, he's a devotee but with mixed. So, but sometimes they are pure devotees, like we say our Brahma is a pure devotee. Haridas Thakur. Anybody else has any comments on this? I'll find that out where if it says that if you perform varnashram duties perfectly for so many lifetimes, then you get.
Okay, thank you.
We can see if somebody else has, some other devotees have said anything. Who becomes Brahma, basically, that's the question. Okay.
In one lecture, Prabhupada is saying that Brahma is, anybody who's in the material world is not a pure devotee. Because they have material desires, and Brahma is a material desire. I shall be the controller of the universe.
Yeah. Correct.
So, we should not have any such desires, even to become Brahma. Brahma bhuvana loka punavartino Arjuna. From the highest planet of Brahma down to the lowest, all are places of misery.
Yeah, and it's nice in Brahma Lok, Satya Lok is, but still Krishna is saying, yeah, there also he lives for a long time, Brahma, but still at the end of it, he has to die. And he has to, whenever there is problem in the universe, then they go to Brahma. So Brahma has to now, he's in charge of the universe, so he has to now resolve the issue. So he many times he goes to Vishnu. So when he can't resolve, so he has all that responsibility. So okay.
Prabhuji, Vishwamitra had powers to create material world and things in his mind. Was he Brahma?
So he attained some siddhis, like
in that pastime, he was able to create the heavenly planets, because I think he wanted to send some person to the heaven, but he was not able to
What is his name?
Trishanku. But he was not able to maintain. So creation is easy, destruction is easy. The hardest is maintenance, which Lord Vishnu does. He was not able to Vishwamitra was not able to maintain with all his powers.
Yeah, I think here Prabhupada, I think you might have. So Prabhupada is saying, so how is it that Lord Brahma is a pure devotee? Prabhupada, no, he's not a pure devotee. He's not, devotee is saying he's not. Anyone who is in the material world is not a pure devotee. He has to become a pure devotee. But there are pure devotees. They come, they are not subjected to all this. They come for deliverance of fallen souls. They are above Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva.
But then some devotees are saying, isn't Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya starting from Sampradaya Acharya as Brahma? So if he's not a pure devotee, then how come the Sampradaya started from him?
Hmm.
Yeah, that was my question. Going to be my question. Yeah.
I mean, maybe anybody who's in the material world, he may become a pure devotee, as Prabhupada says. So maybe he was a. There are, I mean, like you can become pure devotee. Yeah. So we have material desires, but we can become pure devotee. I don't know about this particular Brahma. They say our Brahma is, is came down as Haridas Thakur and all here. So our Brahma is pure. So of course he also did Brahma
Became bewildered.
bewildered.
Because he came as Haridas Thakur because he made that mistake of stealing Krishna's calves and
Hmm.
cowherd boys.
Yeah. He actually prayed to Krishna. Krishna, I became puffed up by my position. So next time you come, I want to take a low birth. That's what I think the prayer is that, right? Brahma says that I became puffed up by my position and I tried to test you. So I want to come in a lower birth next time. And that's why he came in a Mohammedan family, Muslim family, Saridas Thakur. So, hmm. Yeah, he wanted to test Krishna. Yeah, so many other things are there about Brahma. But okay, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, okay, I think did we read this? O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed, okay, nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. Yeah, that is the. Yeah, he gets his first birth in the material world as Lord Brahma. When a living entity falls from the spiritual world, he has no karma, since karma does not exist in the spiritual world. This is what is pasted in the chat by Juhi. As a result, in his birth, his first birth in the material world is as Lord Brahma. From that position, he may return to the spiritual world, or if he is caught by Mahamaya and has some material desire, then he will fall from his position as Lord Brahma and take birth in lower position in another universe. So, yeah, the 100 birth, yeah, it is written in Srimad Bhagavatam that a person who follows their duties according to dharma for 100 births, not 1,000 births, qualifies to take birth as Lord Brahma in the future universe. A person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. And if he becomes more qualified, he can approach Lord Shiva. A person who is directly surrendered to Lord Krishna or Vishnu is in unalloyed devotional service is immediately promoted to spiritual planets. If there is no one qualified, then Lord Vishnu himself acts as Lord Brahma. So, yeah, 100 births, you have to perform your duties according to Varnashram Dharma without any flaw. Then you become Lord Brahma. Or when you come from the spiritual world, then you get the position of Brahma and you can practice devotional service and go back to the spiritual world. But if you don't, then you go down from Brahma. You become a worm in the stool from Brahma. Like in the Brahma Samhita verse, it is described from Indra to Indragop, right? So, okay. Any other comments on this thing? Okay, so we'll read the next verse. Any person authorized by either the Lord or his bona fide, did we read this? Is already blessed as is the work entrusted to him. Of course, the person, I think we read this. One should not be puffed up because he is entrusted with certain executive work. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted. And if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of Supreme, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Yeah, so if we say that yes, this is due to Krishna, this is not due to me, this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, like that, if we say, then we will come out successful. But if we are empowered, or if somebody is empowered and they become proud, then Krishna corrects that pride by in some way, whatever way it is. Arjuna was entrusted with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And before he was so entrusted, the Lord had already arranged for his victory. Nimitta matra bhava savya sachin. He says, yeah, you just become an instrument. I've done all the work for you. You just act as an instrument. But Arjuna was always conscious of his position as subordinate to the Lord, and thus he accepted him as the supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. So Prabhupada is talking about pride, the dangers of being proud. Brahma and persons in the line of his disciplic succession who follow in the footsteps are always successful in the discharge of loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. So opposite of pride is humility, right? So we are supposed to be humble. The humble and meek will inherit the kingdom of God. That's the Bible, it says like that, the humble and meek. So it's, and Prabhupada gives a nice definition of humility in the Bhagavad Gita. One line, what is that? Humility means?
One who is not anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others.
Humility means one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. That's what he writes. So we are not anxious that okay, others should praise me and others. That's actually, we may not be there, but I'm just saying that that's the humility. We are not anxious. We are not doing our things to, yeah. And then the other one, humility means that you can read that if you want. You are done.
Yes, bro. Actually, I can't hear you all properly. You said it to read me?
Yeah, you can read the what you wrote about humility. Humility
Yeah,
means.
humility means that you are convinced beyond any doubt that there is nothing in this world, absolutely nothing in this world, not your money, not your family, not your fame, not your gun, not your education, nothing that will save you except the mercy of Krishna. And when you are convinced like this, then you are humble. Yeah.
Okay.
So nothing can save us except the Krishna, because whatever we are in this world is all temporary. And one day we have to leave everything. And when we convince like that, then we do our faith and service towards Krishna, because we are totally dependent on the mercy of Krishna. So, and if we do not have anything, then why we are so proud of that? If you are not a controller, you are not any, we can't possess anything in this world. So in this way, we can make ourselves in a humble position.
Yeah, that's because we wanted to take Krishna's position. So we came here. So Krishna gave us false ego, right? So the false ego makes us think that I'm very special, right? I'm very special person. I'm, like that. So everything about me is special, right? So that's false ego. False ego we have. We all have that. So that is the Krishna is special. Not, of course, every jiva is special for Krishna. It's not like we have, uh, you know, like we become depressed or something like that. Low, we think we are fallen, and yeah, we are fallen. in this material world. Everybody is fallen in this material world, because otherwise we won't be here in this material world. But now, if you're fallen, then you want to take shelter. Like one devotee was saying, if you are hungry, then you just don't become depressed and say, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. You look for food. Oh, I'm hungry. Where is food? Where is food? So that is real thing. It's not like you say, I'm very fallen, I'm very fallen, I'm very fallen. Okay, I'm fallen, so I need shelter, I need mercy, I need somebody to uplift me. So I'm looking for shelter. So that's like that. So somebody was saying like that. It's not like we just in self pity because then also we are still centered on the I only. We are already talking about I am this, I am this. So where is Krishna in that? It is only I'm saying I am like this, I am like that, I have done this, I have done this. So one humility also means that not to think of ourselves all the time, but to think of Krishna. What is that? Humility means not to think of less of ourselves, but to think of ourselves less, right? Something like
Correct.
that. Yeah, means what service I can do for Krishna, not like I just think about me, and mine. So like that. That's also they say okay.
In one lecture, Prabhuji, I was listening. Keshav Maharaj was saying that I like that point that he said that nobody is perfect, and if you are not perfect, then you should humble. And the moment you humble, you become perfect. Then you are perfect.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that I like that point because we are trying, we all are trying to be perfect. That we know that all the scriptures saying, uh, of course we are not, we know that, but it's very hard to implement, and implementation is very much necessary. We heard so many times that Trinadapi Sunichena, yesterday Mataji was also saying that we
Hmm.
heard that, but how many of us apply actually in our lifetime, like be humble, be humble. But being humble is not that much easy when we are practicing in our life, implementing in our life.
Correct.
So and we are not perfect. We know that we have anarthas in our life, in our heart, and but we should try to be humble. And once we will be humble, we will consider everyone to higher than us.
Hmm.
We'll listen, we will be you know if we accept that position, then we will, and by hearing and listening all, we practicing all, one day we will become humble. So and that moment we become perfect.
Hmm.
So
I think
yeah.
they asked Radha Maharaj, how did you become so humble? He said, whenever there is a situation like that, I practice humility. So you have to practice when there is like so when we say Trinadapi Sunichena, Amanina Manadena, but when actually somebody is not respecting us and then we have to respect them, that's the part very difficult. So you have to, when the situation comes, then you have to practice. So, and I personally I often fail in that. So because there is theory and there is like practical, as yesterday we were hearing. So, but we have to try to apply. It's a constant endeavor to apply the theory into practice. So we have to constantly. We may fail so many times because anarthas are there in the heart, but we have to keep trying to apply as much as we can. So like that, and then maybe like they say, a child is learning to walk. So he's falling down. Again, he gets up and he walks. He falls down, but eventually he will walk. Why? Because the ability to walk is there in the child, is innate, is inbuilt in the child. So similarly, the ability to be a pure devotee of Krishna is there in us. We are actually all pure devotees in one sense, because every soul in its pure is a consciousness is a pure devotee. So because of the anarthas, we may fall. Then we get up. Then we again try. Again, you fall. You get up. Again try. You keep trying, and one day you'll be able to walk. So, but if the child falls down and it becomes depressed and says, "Oh my God, I fell down. Now I cannot walk. That's it. I cannot walk," like that. Look at all the other men. They are walking. I am not able to walk. So they are all walking. All other children who are little higher in age, but they were also falling down at one point, and then they started walking. So you have to. We have to. Of course, I'm not saying that we have to fall down to walk. I mean, we have to fall down in our devotional life. But even if we fall down, then yeah, then we have to keep trying. So we have to keep endeavoring and not give up. That's the other thing. And eventually, it will happen by Krishna's mercy, because he sees that this devotee is trying very much, and so let me help. So, like that. And then he will give intelligence and so many things, good association. Okay, so next verse. Bhuyastvam tapa atishta vidyam chaiva madashrayam tabhyam antarhidi brahman lokan rakshyasya apavritan. O Brahma, situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your heart. So do some tapasya, meditation, and follow the principles. The mercy the Lord bestows upon a particular person engaged in executing the responsible work and entrusted unto him is beyond imagination. But his mercy is received due to our penance and perseverance in executing devotional service. Brahma was entrusted with work of creating the planetary systems. So the tapasya and the perseverance means that constant endeavor. If we keep doing constant endeavor, Prabhupada is saying his mercy is received due to our penance and perseverance in executing devotional service. We are constantly trying to do devotional service, and that way we get Krishna's mercy. Brahma was entrusted with the work of creating the planetary systems. The Lord instructed him that when he meditated, he would very easily know where and how the planetary systems must be arranged. The directions were to come from within, and there was no necessity for anxiety in that task. Such instructions of Buddhi Yoga are directly imparted by the Lord from within, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10:10. That's Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajata Iti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upyanti. Okay, so Brahma did not worry because Krishna is behind him. Vishnu is there. He's going to give him all the intelligence and everything. So is this when he does tapa? He says, situate yourself in penance and meditation. We know he heard the word tapa and then he meditated. So, okay. So anything else on this verse?
Yeah, I was remembering this song. मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है, करते हो तुम कन्हैया, मेरा नाम हो रहा है. So here also, Brahma is getting empowered from Krishna. Krishna is saying that all the planetary system you'll be informed. It all will be arranged for you.
I'll give you the intelligence by which you know where to put what. Okay.
Yeah, should be always be grateful that we are able to do anything. Yeah, with great gratitude comes humility.
Yeah, so Krishna wants to make his devotees famous. Right? Devotee wants to make Krishna famous, and Krishna wants to make his devotee famous. So Krishna, that's why empowers his devotee, and Krishna takes great joy in his pure devotee being glorified. That's why he says, "Those who are devotees of those who are my devotees, they are not my devotees. Those who are devotees of my devotees," because he is very attached to his pure devotee. So, like today morning, I was reading Bhakti Vikas Maharaj sent something. Let's see, what was it? Like Prabhupada said, Lord Chaitanya could have done this work of spreading Krishna consciousness, but he reserved the credit for us. I mean, so that, you know, like Arjuna, Krishna did the work of, but Arjuna gets the credit. So, of winning the war. So, like that.
Also, I was remembering Prabhupada said, if you chant Hare Krishna, all answers will come from within.
Correct.
When we are in anxiety, we don't know what to do. So, Chaitya Guru in the heart. And when we chant, we are like, Krishna help me. That's humility, right? Krishna help me. And before we start any task or any project, like Brahma prayed before he started the project, he just didn't rush into it. He prayed to Krishna, please help me make this successful.
Okay, I can't find that. Okay, but we'll see another day. Okay, so next verse. तथात्मनि लोके च भक्तियुक्ता समाहितः द्रष्टासि मां ततं ब्रह्मन् मयि लोकां स्वम् आत्मनः. O Brahma, when you are absorbed in devotional service in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you. And throughout the universes, and you will see that you yourself, the universe, and the living entities are all in me. Okay. Everything is in Krishna. He says, then you will see that everything belongs to me. Like that, something. What is that verse? Krishna says, for one who sees me everywhere and who sees everything me, I'm never lost.
Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranishyami sachami na pranishyati.
So the devotee, because of his purified premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena, santa sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti, he sees the Lord in his heart. And स्थावर देखी जंगम देखी न देखे तारा मूर्ति सर्वत्र होय निज इष्ट देव स्फूर्ति सर्वत्र होय निज इष्ट.
Ishtadev Smriti.
So Prabhupada gave an example like that, that when the mother sees the child's toys, then she's reminded of the child. So, or when you see the glasses of the spectacles of Prabhupada, you say, oh, this is Prabhupada's spectacles. So similarly, the pure devotee, when he sees the material nature, he says, oh, this is Krishna's nature. It belongs to Krishna. So like that. He can see who is behind this, just as the mother can see the child in the toys or in the garments of the child. The mother, because of the love for the child, oh, these are my child's clothes. So, so in the same way, everything is Krishna's energy. So energy reminds you of the energetic, the person whose energy it is. It's very advanced stage of devotion. So But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, when you see like this, you should see that this is me. When you see the sunlight, Prabhashmi Shashi Suryayo. Oh, you should see, oh, this sunlight is me. This moonlight is me. We should think, yeah, this is Krishna is energy, sun. When you drink water, then you should remember that the taste of water is Krishna. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Like that. So in this way we can see Krishna in the creation. Whenever we see anything, what is that verse? Whenever we see anything very opulent, very beautiful, very extraordinary, intelligent, something, then we should see that, okay.
It's a spark of his splendor. Yad yad vibhutimat sattvam srimad urjitam evava tattad evava gacchitvam mama tejavam sasam.
It is Krishna's opulence manifesting in this person. That's why this person is so beautiful or so intelligent or so this, that, whatever. And if we don't see the connection with Krishna, then we are seeing in Maya. If we just see the beauty of something, but we don't connect it with Krishna, then in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam it is said that to see things disconnected from Krishna is to see illusion. So normally yeah.
And even I've heard that Prabhupada's telling that sun and the moon are the eyes of the Lord's, Krishna's eyes.
Yeah. There is a verse in the Brahma Samhita also.
Yeah.
Yasya Prabha Prabhavati Jagadanda Koti. No, not that one. Another verse. But anyway, so yeah, the eyes of the Lord. So and then we should always, everything should remind us of the Lord. I mean the pure state, everybody thinks like that. So, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we used to see something and say, oh, it reminds of Krishna. But that is very, very exalted, you know. Those who are completely in love with the Supreme Lord. So,
Like the pastime Mukunda, when he saw the peacock feather fan, he fell from the high platform down, and when the king asked what happened, he said, oh, I got some seizure.
yeah.
But yeah, he went into ecstasy. And I think Pondrik Vidyanidhi, when he heard one verse, Aho Bakim Stan Kalkutam, he went into ecstasy. Oh, how merciful is Krishna. So how just hearing a small thing about Krishna, they go into ecstasy.
Yeah, Gadadhar was thinking, whereas Mukunda brought me, this Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he seems to be like a very sense enjoyer. And Mukunda, sensing that Gadadhar has some doubts about Pundarik, he chanted a verse about Krishna's mercy, and then Pundarik Vidyanidhi went into ecstasy. And then Gadadhar Pandit knew, oh, this is not some ordinary person. Then he took initiation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who is Rishabhanu. Gadadhar is Radharani, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi is Rishabhanu. So, okay, yeah. Herein the Lord hints that Brahma would see him as Lord Shri Krishna when he appears during Brahma's daytime. And that Brahma would then appreciate how the Lord expands himself into all the cows and boys during his childhood Vrindavan. And how Yashodamai sees all the universes and planetary systems within the mouth of Krishna during his playful childhood pastimes. During the appearance of Lord Krishna, Brahma would also see that there are many millions of Brahmas. That is in Dwarka when he like clapped and all the Brahmas came. But all these manifestations of the Lord appearing everywhere in his eternal transcendental forms cannot be understood by anyone but the pure devotees who are always engaged in devotional service to the Lord and are fully absorbed in the Lord. The high qualifications of Brahma are thus indicated herein. Okay, any comments on this?
Was the pastime enacted of like when Brahma came to Krishna and said, on the door he said, tell Krishna Brahma has come, and Krishna said, which Brahma? So was it because he was proud, and then he called Brahmas from all different universes, and I think he was proud, right?
Maybe, yeah, he was proud, or because Krishna knows everything. I mean, he doesn't have to ask also. But Krishna is asking which Brahma has come. Maybe he wanted to show the insignificance of Brahma. So maybe, that you're just a little Brahma. Does it mention there that he was proud and that's why, or
Is this in Bhagavatam?
this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this pastime
Oh,
is
this past time.
there. So
Yeah,
uh,
even to the level of Brahma, there is a potential to fall down at any time. So.
okay, so next verse, what's the time? 8:25. Just one more verse. Yada tu sarva bhuteshu darushva agnim iva sthitam pratichakshita mam loko jaya tarya eva kasmalam. Only when you attain that state of transcendental vision in which you see me in all living entities, as well as all over the universe, just as fire is situated in wood, you will you be able to be free from all kinds of illusion. Okay, so this is how one who is free from illusion, or how one can become free from illusion. To see God everywhere. I mean, in every living entity there is God. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini. Sunichaiva Supakecha. Pandita Samadarshina. Of course, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Hriddeshu Arjuna Tishtati. Krishna is seated in everybody's heart. Sarvasya Chaham Hriddhi Sannivishta. So we have to see that everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, in which you see me in all living entities as well as all over the universe. Like in wood, you cannot see fire, but fire is stored in the wood because the wood is like it stores the sunlight, and then when you light it, that fire comes out. So fire is there in wood, but you can't see it externally. It is contained in the wood. Similarly, Krishna is there behind everything. Is there with every jiva. Okay. Brahma prayed that during the course of his material activities, he might not forget his eternal relationship with the Lord. He was worried that even before he has done his task, he is worried. So that he will forget. In answer to that prayer, the Lord said that Brahma should not think of existing without a relationship with the Lord's omnipotency. The example is given of the fire in the wood. The fire kindled in wood is always the same, although the wood may be of different types. Similarly, the bodies within the material creation may be specifically different according to the shape and quality. But the spirit souls within them are not different from one another. The soul is same in every, the body may be different. The quality of fire, warmth is the same everywhere. And the spiritual spark or part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit is the same in every living being. Thus, the potency of the Lord is distributed all over His creation. This transcendental knowledge alone can save one from the contamination of material illusion. Okay, so since the Lord's potency is distributed everywhere, a pure soul or devotee of the Lord can see everything in relationship with the Lord, and therefore he has no affection for the outer coverings. So he sees everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, not based on the body, outward, external, which is the dress. It's like, identifying, respecting somebody because they have a nice car, because they are driving a very expensive car. In materialistic consciousness, people say, oh, they respect, oh, he's driving such an expensive car, he must be very rich. So they respect him. But spiritualist doesn't see like that. In spiritual consciousness, you don't see just the board, the Prabhupada says here, you don't see the outer covering. You see that, oh, beneath this covering is the spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. So, and on that platform, there can be equality. Otherwise, there cannot be any equality because everybody is spirit souls. Pandita Samadarshina. Otherwise, we see just externally. Oh, this person looks nice. This is very beautiful person. This is not so beautiful person. and like that we make discrimination based on the external looks and things like that. But it is just that they have karma by which they have got a certain kind of body, and the karma is not eternal. It will change. The body is not eternal. It will change. Everything will change. So to identify with the changing situation is also considered less intelligent. Therefore, he has no affection for outer coverings. It's very, generally we are in bodily conception of life, so we also see others in the bodily conception of life. We see how we see others based on our own consciousness. Atmavan manyate jagat, it is said like that. If I wear red colored glasses, I see everything red because I am seeing through the filter of my own consciousness. So if I am thinking I am the body, I am seeing everybody as the body. Oh, they are also the. If I am thinking I am spirit soul, then I see everybody. Yeah, everybody is spirit soul. So that pure spiritual conception makes him immune to all contamination of material association. The pure devotee never forgets the touch of Lord in all circumstances. Okay. Prabhupada said one time like that, there was never a time when I forgot Krishna. So that could tell us that he may be an eternally liberated soul coming from the spiritual world. Although it apparently seems like, he was involved with the movement of Gandhi and he was like, too much into independence movement. But Prabhupada's, there was never a time I forgot Krishna. He said like that also. And then we have that famous thing that he didn't want to come to the spiritual world, but then Krishna said, no, you go. Prabhupada says, no, I don't want to go. It's a very austere place, this material world. So, but yeah. Okay, so anything else? Anybody has any comment?
Yeah, like the fire is hidden in the wood, and this analogy saying like love for Krishna is there in everybody's heart, but it's hidden. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhika Shravanadi Suddha Chittikare Uday. But with hearing and chanting and association of devotees who are fired up. So if you bring wood that is burning to nearby a wood that is not burning, then it can also light on fire. But if the wood is dry, it lights up, but if it is wet, it does not. So wet means that, I guess, Bhogeshwara Prasaktanam, right? Engaging in sense gratification and desire, material desires, then it does not light up in fire.
Correct. Yeah, so wood has to become dry for it to light up. If wood is wet, then it will not light. So we have to come to the mode of goodness like that. Live so that mode of goodness is where the fire can be lit. But yeah, that is there also. But we have to, and also if you get the mercy of a pure devotee, then it can bypass so many things also. Yeah. Okay, so it's 8:30. Anything else anybody like to say? It's all, we have heard this many times. There's nothing new in this. Now we have to apply as much as possible. But we have to reinforce our understanding, like, because we forget also. What do you say? That's why we have to read every day or not? Does anybody forget? But I was thinking reading can be done for academic knowledge, and it is the, the motive behind reading also that matters. Like, in our uh, sometimes students come, many students will come. Suddenly on Thursday program, you'll see usually maybe 7, 8 people come like that. And then suddenly one day you have so many students come and you wonder how they are so interested in, they all came to this, temple, they're so interested. But they, they are doing it, why? Because they have their coursework to finish, which is good. They came to temple somehow, and they are seeing the deity, hearing Hare Krishna. But afterwards, you don't see them because their purpose was not like to really know the truth. Their purpose was, I think, I cannot say about anybody, but I'm just saying, this is my observation that then you don't see them. And they ask also so many questions. Why this? Why that? Why you're doing like this? What is that? But and they are writing down, and you think somebody who's writing down must be very serious, because they are making notes and writing down. But then afterwards, you don't see them. But whatever contact they had is all beneficial. But this is the so everything has a subtle motive behind. So reading also, it is like it's actually done for purification, not for just for the sake of gaining knowledge or academic thing. How I can become closer to Krishna, how I can purify my consciousness. That's the motive. And then you can read simple things also, and you can get purified. Or we may read even so many esoteric things and very high stuff and not get purified also, because yeah, it depends on the consciousness in which we read. Of course, it does say that, right? What is that verse? uh, Vikriditam Vrajavadupir idam cha Vishnu. Right? There is
Right.
the love. Huh?
Yeah, I'm pasting.
Vikriditam Vrajavadupir idam cha Vishnu. Shraddhanvito Anushnayat. Atha Varnedya. Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam. Ridrogamashvapo Hinoti Achirinati. So Ras Lila is the highest. It's the highest. And it is saying if we hear this with faith, then the lust will go away from the heart. But we have to hear properly in the right understanding, right source. Okay, I think
I mean, there's so many verses that says Srimad Bhagavatam Shrinatam Shraddha Nityam Granthas Cheshtitam.
Kalena Natikirke.
No, there's another one. Bhaya. Which one? Like the lust, anger, greed, or all the anarthas will be removed from the heart by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So in general, Bhagavatam, right? Not just the Raslila section. That is a special verse, but
Yeah, we
show.
hear both the way. Some pastime, some philosophy mix.
So it's all, yeah, whether it's Krishna's pastimes or it's some other, Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj, all of that can lead to removal of lust.
Yes. Okay, so maybe we'll stop here for today. I think it's 8:40. Is it okay? Yeah. Should we stop or should we read Rajlila?
Yes, Prabhuji, you can stop.
Stop. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And,